Everybody ready? Well, Coach, what's the excitement level in this building as you guys prepare to open fall camp?
I don't want to sound like be a bummer here, but we just do it so long now. It's not like it ever stops anymore. I mean, we just play football all the time. So we were making jokes. Install one. What is install one anymore? Install one of spring. We've already done that. Install one of the summer. We've done that. So yeah, install one. Tomorrow for these poor players, it's like the third time they've had install one. And for a lot of our players, it's the 12th time they've had install one.
Seems like this season you've settled on doesn't matter, get better as kind of the mantra you guys are going with. Why did you choose that? Where did that come from?
I just think it's something to remind us all. I had a feeling we were going to have a lot of guys on a bunch of conference team, all kinds of awards. I felt like we were going to have a bunch of that. And I felt like we were going to be predicted to be pretty high in the rankings. We've won 23 games the last 2 years, 30 in the last 3. Doesn't matter, get better. I mean, it doesn't matter what it's just one of those kind of things. It just kept coming to me. They come to my office, hey, whatever the situation might be, I'd be like, it doesn't matter, get better. So, our very first year, we were just trying to get our culture established. We were picked last in most polls, and we had 1 person or 0 on the preseason all-conference teams, and we did a good job establishing that in 20. And then 21, we had a pretty good year, and it was don't eat the cheese, because we had everybody returning and all those super seniors, and we went from being picked, towards the bottom to being picked really high, and then the next year we actually won conference championship, had a great year, so the bull don't care, it just made sense. And this year, just doesn't matter, get better. So typical corny Jeff Traylor talk, but my kids really bought into it, and then you kind of tell by going to the AAC Media Day, no rings on, just, honestly, Frank and Rashad were dressed down, humble, and that wasn't like I had preached to them to be that way. I just think they get the message that it doesn't matter, we got to be better.
Has anything changed for you from going into a season with Conference USA as going into an entirely new conference? Is there anything that you're doing differently as you get ready for this new challenge?
I've been asked that a ton. I thought to myself, why doesn't it bother me at all? And then I look back, when you're a Texas high school football coach, your conference changes every 2 years. So I couldn't wait to, find out what my realignment was going to be and who we were going to get and how we were going to figure it out. Because the deal is you got to win your league. Or if you're a Texas high school football coach, you got to win your district. That's how you make your teams. You look at who your competition is, and you got to make your roster fit, and then you got to adapt your schemes to win the league, right? Well, it's no different. I mean, it's no different. So I like the excitement, the newness of it, figuring it out. Hey, we're going to Philadelphia. Let's figure out. Like, don't order whatever that what is that sandwich they got? The Philly sandwich.
Cheesesteak.
There you go. That cheesesteak. Appreciate there, Steven. I mean, I messed up when I watched the Saints and the Eagles play up there, and I didn't know the order of how to order that. So I'd warn all of our Roadrunner fans. There's a certain way they cut you no slack up there. If you don't know how to order your sandwich correctly, they will wear my country tail out.
Jeff, what's the status of Frank Harris? He said he was almost 100%. How do you plan to use him?
We won't play him if he's not himself. So my entire career, I don't play limpers. I just don't want to do it. It's for their own safety. And if he tells me he's good to go and my strength staff tells me he's good to go, then immediately I look back at that bowl game and he limped quite a bit. And so here I am kind of double talking. But he assured me that he was fine, right? And we knew he had to get scoped. And we did that, as soon as the season was over. And then we had some complications, obviously. But we won't play him unless he's good to go. And he is really, the last month, we have seen just amazing, miraculous healing in that knee. And it's made everybody walk a lot better. The better Frank walks, the better all of us walk around here.
Were you had any concerns during that process of the offseason of him going through all that?
Yeah, I did. We were really worried. And it was tough because we love him so much and how much he's done for the program, what he means to the city. And to see what he was going through was unbelievably tough. And he's been through a lot before, but this was one of the ones that really he couldn't believe this kept happening to him. But it was really good for Owen and Eddie Lee because they got every rep. And Frank's just now started to come back and get those reps.
What's the latest on Clark? What's his timetable?
Well, we don't know. We're still, whenever the deficit between his good leg and his leg that had the procedure on, the more that, decreases in the difference. And the more he runs where it's not noticeable, the more he runs without thinking about it. Again, we will not put him out there unless he's ready to go.
How's he handling that process?
Oh, a lot like Frank. He's had good days. He's had bad days. It's tough, They're young men. And when you mess with young men's, their lower extremities, when you're as talented as both those young men are, it's scary. They've been the best athlete their entire lives. So he's had good days and bad days, but just like Frank, he has way more good days than bad.
What's the overall health of the team? You had a bunch of guys down in the spring. Are most of those guys back, or you expect them back sometime this camp?
Yeah, I think we'll be rolling with everybody. Obviously, we'll do limited stuff with JT, and limited stuff with Cephas. But other than that, I would expect, unless we've had something come up today, which you'd be shocked at what happens just today. Like, who knows? Somebody might come in with a cold, and they won't be out there tomorrow. That's why we have a really good medical staff, and that's why they do what they do. They come in and update me here in a little bit, and we'll take I don't want y'all to think I'm hiding something. In fact, y'all go out there tomorrow, and they're not out there. I'm like, what's up? Well, he probably got a cold, and hold him out.
Is Cephas still recovering from his knee as well?
Yeah, but he's really trending up. He's trending up, and Luke had one of his better days today in rehab. So yeah, I would expect to see him participating, with some controlled reps, but out there.
I think it's been the hottest last 2 summers in San Antonio in the history of the city. You guys got any plans to kind of beat the heat in August?
Yeah, that's the good thing about this is my 19th year to be a head coach in the state of Texas, and we start early, as you guys know. That's why there's 11 of y'all here today, and there'll only be 1 or 2 of y'all here Wednesday, because we get out there quick. And as soon as my calves start getting hot on that turf, or I take my hat off because we start to sweat too much, we'll be rounding up the practice really quickly.
How do you size up the wide receiver room behind JT and Cephas and the other guys that you have available at that position?
Well, we have a lot of faith in Chris Carpenter. He played some valuable minutes for us last year, did a great job returning punts and kicks. We have a lot of time in Tyke Kellogg. Tyke's graduated, had a really good summer, so we're excited about those guys. And the rest of them, we'll see. We brought in some really good recruits, but I don't like to really talk about them a lot. They get there on the field and make some plays.
I was looking at the roster. It looks like the rest of the transfers and recruiting class came in after the spring. Expect any of those guys to have an impact? A couple of big transfers there in that group.
Yeah, we'll have some starters come out of that group. There's no doubt we will. There's just so many of them. They're so good. I don't want to really get into naming them, but I'll give you a couple that have just because they were here in the spring. I think they've already put themselves in a good spot. What Rocco's done at running back has really been impressive. Just the way he carries himself, the way he is with our fan base, just Rocco. I mean, he just is a pro. And we have a real competition going for that running back spot behind Kavorian. Kadrick's had a good summer as well. And then Robert Henry, was a very prized recruit. He got injured in the spring, but he had a good summer. So I would say that's one. I'd say Buffalo at left tackle has had a really good spring and a really good summer, and is pushing some real, for that starting job there as well. Obviously, there's some spots that jobs are open. The safety job is going to be a good competition back there. We lost our nickel. We lost a corner. There's some obvious spots you guys know about that there's going to be some good battles, but I'm not really ready to name those names just quite yet.
I know D'Anthony Lewis wasn't listed on the roster for this fall. Is that just a medical thing, or what's the situation that led him to be off the team?
Yeah, just some off the field stuff, and so it is what it is. Thank y'all.
All right,
God bless.